Love ain't free, it's silent loans, paid with flesh and aching bones. Love ain't free, it's silent loans, paid with flesh and aching bones. So Windy City bones cracking under winter's fist. Lover's breath turns to dollar signs in the abyss. We traded rings for rusted chains at the pawn shop counter. You're forever got a price tag, baby, ain't that how it's supposed to matter? CTA train scream like our last fight in July. You said love's a bullet but rent's the gun we gotta buy. 6 flat stairwells echo I do's turn to IOUs. Every kiss got interest rates compounding what we lose. Love ain't free, it's silent loans.
My videos don't necessarily promote one religion. My views and opinions aren't meant to change the minds, opinions, or beliefs of others. Watch with an open mind. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, entertainment, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All rights and credit go directly to its rightful owners. No copyright infringement is intended. We continue to uncover the profound wisdom within the timeless scriptures. Take care, and God bless.
HOA bullies homeowners into compliance with new rules every year. If you don't know what they are, then you could be hit with a hefty fine. Also, if you have any questions about your HOA and how these rules may affect you, feel free to reach out to us through the contact information provided below. Now let's get started. Electric vehicles are quickly becoming more popular, and many HOAs are updating their rules to accommodate homeowners who want to install EV charging stations. As more and more people turn to short-term rentals like Airbnb to supplement their income, HOAs are starting to take notice. Maintaining your front yard can be a daunting task, especially if you live in an HOA. That's because many HOAs have strict rules about how your grass must be maintained. But keep in mind that this is not an exhaustive list. And if you have any questions about your HOA and how these rules may affect you, feel free to reach out to us through the contact information provided below. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our helpful content. Thanks for watching. For example, your grass may need to be a certain height at all times, or you may be prohibited from using a certain type of grass. Additionally, HOAs often have rules about bushes and shrubs. For example, they may need to be trimmed regularly, or they may not grow taller than a certain height. Now, there are a few reasons why HOAs might have these types of rules. For one, they may be concerned about the appearance of the neighborhood. After all, everyone's front yard is a reflection of the community as a whole. Additionally, HOAs may have these rules in place to protect the environment. For example, some types of grass are more water efficient than others. By requiring homeowners to use certain types of grass, HOAs can help conserve water in drought-stricken areas. And finally, HOAs may have landscaping rules in place to protect wildlife. For example, some plants are poisonous to animals. By banning certain plants from front yards, HOAs can help keep pets and wildlife safe. No matter the reason, it's important to remember that HOA landscaping rules are often subject to change. So make sure you check with your HOA regularly to ensure you're in compliance. Otherwise, you could end up facing a hefty fine. In fact, many HOAs are now prohibiting homeowners from renting out their homes on a short-term basis. If you live in an HOA, chances are you're familiar with the rules regarding parking. After all, most HOAs have rules about where you can park your car and even what kind of car you can own. But did you know that many HOAs are updating their rules to include restrictions on parking for guests? That's right. Many HOAs are now implementing rules that limit the amount of time that guests can stay in the community. Some HOAs are even going as far as to require guests to register with the HOA before they can even enter the property. Now, there are a few reasons why HOAs might implement these types of rules. For one, they may be concerned about the safety of the neighborhood. After all, strangers will be coming and going at all hours of the day and night. Additionally, HOAs may be worried about the impact that guests will have on the community. For example, they may be concerned about noise, trash, and parking. And finally, HOAs may implement guest parking rules to protect the privacy of the residents. After all, no one wants to come home to a stranger parked in their driveway. No matter the reason, it's important to remember that HOA parking rules are often subject to change. So make sure you check with your HOA regularly to ensure you're in compliance. Otherwise, you could end up with another hefty fine. Now, there are a few reasons why HOAs might do this. For one, they may be concerned about the safety of the neighborhood. After all, strangers will be coming and going at all hours of the day and night. Additionally, HOAs may be worried about the impact that short-term renters will have on the community. For example, they may be concerned about noise, trash, and parking. There are also a few legal concerns that HOAs should keep in mind when dealing with short-term rentals. For example, in many states, an HOA cannot completely ban short-term rentals. In fact, many states require HOAs to provide a reasonable number of short-term rental days for homeowners. So if you live in an HOA and you're thinking about listing your home on Airbnb, make sure you check your state laws first. You may be surprised to learn that you have more rights than you think. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. It really helps us out. But there are two main challenges that arise when it comes to installing an EV charger. First, many homes don't have the electrical capacity to support an EV charger. It's because EV chargers use a lot of electricity and require a dedicated circuit. Second, even if your home has the electrical capacity for an EV charger, you may still need a permit from your HOA. Now again, just like with solar panels, there are state laws that address this issue. For example, under California Civil Code Section 4781F, an HOA cannot prohibit a homeowner from installing an EV charging station. However, the HOA may require the homeowner to obtain a permit if the installation of the EV charger would violate any other HOA rules or state laws. Florida, Texas, and a few other states have similar laws that protect homeowners who want to install EV charging stations. So make sure you check your state laws before making any modifications to your home. Otherwise, you could end up in a world of hurt. So in this video, we're going to cover the top 5 new HOA rules that you need to know about for 2025. Many states are passing laws making it more difficult for HOAs to prohibit solar panels within their communities. And one of the most common issues arises when a homeowner wants to install solar panels, but discovers that the HOA requires a permit for any modification to the exterior of the home. This is a tricky situation because the installation of solar panels usually involves attaching them to the roof with mounting hardware. And while solar panels are considered a beneficial improvement to the property, some HOAs may still consider the mounting equipment an eyesore or alteration to the exterior of the home that requires a permit. If this happens to you, you should check your state laws because many states have addressed this issue. For example, under California Civil Code Section 4781F, an HOA cannot require a permit for the installation of solar panels, as long as the solar panels are installed in accordance with all local building codes and safety regulations. The same is true for Florida, Texas, and a few other states. Now keep in mind that just because something is legal doesn't mean it's not also an alteration that requires an architectural review. So it's always best to check with your HOA before making any modifications to the exterior of your home. Otherwise, you could face fines and penalties. That way you can start off the new year on the right foot and avoid any costly mistakes. But before we dive in, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of our helpful HOA law videos. The first rule that many HOAs are adopting for 2025 has to do with solar panels. Alright, moving on to the next rule, which has to do with EV charging stations. Next, we have a rule that has to do with short-term rentals. Next up, we have a rule that has to do with landscaping. And speaking of hefty fines, that brings us to our last rule, which has to do with parking. Those are just a few of the new HOA rules that you need to know about for 2025.